Okay, so here is 8 warm-up problems. We're going to pause the video here for you to simplify all 8, and then we will unpause the video and I will do all the work so you can see your answers. Okay, so for number 7, the coefficient of 2 stays, and then we add our exponents to get an exponent of 7. For 8, the coefficient of 4 stays, add our exponents, and we get e squared. Now for 9, the squared power on the outside of all the parentheses goes to both the -3 and the 2x. And what happens is you multiply those exponents, so the e is to the 4x, and the -3 squared is 9, e to the 4x. For 10, we have 5 to the -4x and e to the 12x. And then since just this piece has a negative exponent, it's going to move to the other side of the fraction. So that's e to the 12x over 5 to the 4x. You could simplify the 5 to the 4th if you wanted. For 11, we'll divide our coefficients. And then for the e terms, the denominator has a power of 1, so we're going to subtract our exponents. So the final answer is 3/4 e to the x minus 1. Same thing for 12. We're going to subtract our exponents. So that's e to the -4x. The part with the negative exponent moves to the denominator. Now 13 is a square root. So the square root of 16 is 4. The square root of e squared is e. And the square root of x, nothing can simplify there. And lastly for 14, the cube root. So the cube root of 125 is 5. And then this power of 6x can divide by 3. So that's e to the 2x. Okay, so we're going to solve for these 4 problems. Make sure you write at the top, we need to get both sides of the equation so that they have the same base to a power, and then we'll be able to solve for the exponent. So for number 1, I can make the right-hand side 27 to the -1. So now the 27, we can change that to 3 to the 3rd times the -1, so that's 3 to the -3. Now that our bases are the same, we could say that the exponents are equal. Okay, so write down and let's try number 2. (625) is 5 to the 4th. So now that our bases are the same, we could set the exponents equal. Those are equal. And then to solve, I'll add 1 to both sides. Divide by 2. So x is 5 over 2. All right, write down 3. (1/8) is 1 over 2 to the 3rd. So moving that out of the exponent, moving that out of the denominator, we can make the exponent negative. Now I can set my exponents equal. I'm going to move everything to one side because we have a quadratic. And we're going to factor. So what multiplies to 3, that adds to 4. So x equals -1 or -3. Okay, last but not least, on this page, write down number 4. We can actually do number 4 two ways. Because we have a product on the left, we can divide both sides by the 25 to the third. Now, we don't have a calculator, so 625 I know is 5 to the fourth, and 25 is 5 squared to the third. So then simplifying this denominator, that's 5 to the sixth. So we have 5 to the x, and then we're going to subtract our exponents, that's 5 to the negative 2, so x is negative 2. So another way to do this problem is if I, on the left-hand side of my equation, change the 25 to the third to 5 to the sixth, I'm going to change the 625 to 5 to the fourth, I can add my exponents on the left-hand side since the bases are the same. And now I can set my exponents equal, and again we get negative 2. So both ways are an appropriate way to solve. You can pick your favorite method. So now we're going to do some 10 multiple choice questions just for practice. So we're going to pause the video at the beginning of each problem. You're going to try it and then unpause, and I will show you the answer and the work. So go ahead and start on number 1. Okay, the answer is D because you are going to add your exponents, and 5 plus negative 3 is 2. Okay, for number 2, the answer is A. Divide the coefficients, negative 16 divided by 2, and subtract your exponents. Okay, try number 3. Okay, the answer to number 3 is D. Negative 4 squared is positive 16, and then that's e to the negative 12x, and this is the only piece of the product that moves to the denominator with the negative exponent. Okay, try 4. The answer is C. First we have to simplify the right-hand side, or the right piece of the product. So negative 2 squared is 4, and multiply those powers, we get 6. So now I can multiply my coefficients, that's 20. Add the exponents, and then because this is a negative exponent, it moves to the other side of the fraction, and we get C. Okay, try 5. The answer is E. If I was going to make a quick sketch of this, the asymptote is at negative 3. Because the base is E, which is 2.7, it's a growth, but this negative reflects it over the y-axis. Or if you found your key point, you would plug in negative 1, but you would get a sketch like this. So your graph is above your asymptote, making it y is greater than negative 3. Okay, so now for 6, your answer choices are up here, A through D, when you're going to compare the value in column A and the value in column B. Okay, the answer for 6 is A. If I simplified the right-hand column, column B, we get 2 over E cubed. So if you think of E as 2.7 or close to 3, E to the fourth is going to be a positive integer, a large value, whereas 2 divided by E cubed is going to be a small fraction. Okay, so the same answer choices up here apply for 7. The answer is C. If I go to simplify both columns, 2 to the third is 8, and then e to the 6. Now on the right-hand side, this negative exponent is going to move the entire term to the numerator. The squared goes to both pieces, so the square root of 8 squared is 8. Multiply those exponents and we have equal terms. Okay, same answer choices for number 8. The answer to 8 is A. If we simplify the left side, negative 5 squared is 25, and then we're going to get e to the negative 8, which moves that part to the denominator, so it's 25 over e to the 8th. On the right-hand side, the whole piece moves to the denominator. So that's 5 e to the 4th squared. And then simplifying that, that's 1 over 25 e to the 8th. So the value in the column A is greater because the 25 is in the numerator versus the denominator here being a larger denominator. Okay, try number 9. Your range, the answer for 9 is B. If I make a sketch, our asymptote is at 4. It's a growth function because the base is E, which is 2.7. And because the graph is above the asymptote, y is greater than 4. Okay, number 10. The answer is E. You definitely need a calculator for this one. Because it says compounding continuously, that is the equation you learned on Friday with P times E to the RT. So substituting in all the pieces, 2,000 is our deposit. Our interest rate is 0.065 and 3 years. When you type this into your calculator, you have to be careful to group your exponent with the as a power of the E. Okay, so now for the remainder of class, you're going to start your homework. It is these worksheets that are in your packet. All of the answers are posted in Edline so that you can check tonight, and we will go over it tomorrow. Okay, for the remainder of